There's some interesting news circulating about a player and the possibility of a transfer to another club. While nothing is official yet, it appears that a negotiation involving this athlete is underway. I'll summarize the events of the past few hours, which have been quite hectic. The most significant information came from a source who clearly stated that the team is actively pursuing a deal with the player's club. That statement was made around 1 in the morning, following earlier indications that the original team was preparing to act and that this interested side could be the one. Hours before, a prominent figure had denied the rumors of a trade, assuring fans it wouldn't happen, only to backtrack on that assertion just before the latest update. In addition, a teammate of the player made suggestive comments on social media, further fueling speculation. Although I have screenshots to include in an edited video, it seems this player is about to join the new club. At this point, the details of the negotiation remain murky, and I'm unsure about the athlete's future role on the team. Nevertheless, there are intense discussions among journalists on both sides, indicating that a trade is indeed approaching. I'll explore everything discovered so far and share my thoughts on what this possible agreement could mean. I'm particularly interested in the compensation issues, as they will heavily influence my analysis. There are undoubtedly advantages and some concerns regarding the talent involved. It really surprises me when I look at it from the perspective of the original club, especially considering their intentions. Let's examine the compensation ramifications, as this could significantly shape how I view the situation. There are certainly valid arguments and benefits to consider, especially in terms of talent relative to a potential pick-based exchange. I find myself somewhat surprised by the original team's approach, mainly because they were seeking another receiver, not solely relying on this player, yet ended up acquiring someone else. This situation brings them back to square one. Before delving further into these developments, I invite you to share your reaction in a single word about the recent reports concerning this player in today's comments. That will be the highlighted comment. So if any promotion appears here, feel free to seize the moment and express your thoughts. To recap the events so far, I'll include some screenshots of relevant tweets using my usual video editing tools. Without a doubt, there have been substantial conversations about this player and his new team, with reporting and discussion surfacing earlier. Earlier on Tuesday night, around 9 o'clock, a memorable tweet was published indicating a significant maneuver involving the original club. The tweet featured a famous GIF that clearly hinted at this player's involvement. Connecting the dots is necessary here. Although some people may not appreciate this speculation, I understand their point of view. Several reporters covering the team appeared to downplay the excitement, with one stating that nothing was underway and asking fans not to worry. Another reiterated the same notion. After that, a tweet by a teammate displayed a waving GIF, heightening curiosity. Then another reporter raised expectations by sharing an image of a character seemingly linked to both the player and the new club. Shortly before 1 in the morning, yet another reporter responded with a GIF, indicating he was retracting his earlier statement and signaling that, indeed, discussions were taking place. The buzz grew as that reporter confirmed the team was making moves to secure its new number 2 receiver, with an announcement expected soon. This suggests that negotiations over contract terms or compensation are still ongoing, and I'm extremely curious to see how everything unfolds. There is considerable dialogue occurring regarding the current circumstances. Discussions are underway about a possible exchange that involves the new secondary wide receiver for the Cowboys. An official announcement regarding this transaction is anticipated on Wednesday, implying that negotiations could still be in progress, especially concerning the contract terms and the compensation required. There is considerable eagerness to see how this situation develops, and insights will be provided shortly. Depending on when this is watched, it might be around 1:45 in the afternoon Eastern Time when this information becomes available. This was recorded before that time, which means an agreement might have already been established. It's also possible that nothing has been finalized, or they could be on the verge of concluding discussions. If updates emerge immediately after this is published, it could render this entire conversation moot. There is much activity surrounding this matter, and conversations with individuals knowledgeable about the topic suggest that speculation has been ongoing. When it comes to the draft, future picks generally lose value over time. It would be interesting to secure a third-day selection for a player under consideration. The intention is to preserve a fourth-round pick, which would be advantageous. However, that might be a bit ambitious. There are questions about the real value of a trade involving this player. Should it truly justify a first-round pick, a second-round pick, or even a third-round pick for someone who might be seen more as a temporary solution? This player has performed reasonably well, but does not perfectly fit the desired profile. He has faced some challenges with the team, and historically, when athletes leave this organization, they often do not suffer a drop in performance. Those are concerning signs. The question arises whether that is the trajectory we are setting. Is it worth investing a valuable asset in this scenario? There are genuine doubts in this regard. On the other hand, if someone is in town, would you really want to rely on other players as secondary options? Uncertainty persists. So why let this player go for modest compensation? There is a significant amount of doubt about what should be included in the trade package, which leads to questioning whether another player could also be brought back in return. It could be feasible that one of the available options is traded, and a specific player comes to mind, given that mistakes are not often acknowledged easily. All of these alternatives could potentially diminish the pick compensation. Caution in considering this player as the second option is maintained, primarily due to concerns about his on-field behavior rather than other factors. His on-field errors, lapses in concentration, and disciplinary issues are recalled, even though he has demonstrated potential on several occasions. The influence of veteran players could be valuable in this scenario. The expectation is to observe how the trade package will develop before passing any judgment on the deal's effectiveness. In terms of talent, the decision seems clear, but other factors are at play that make one reflect on how it will all truly unfold. I wish to gain clarity on how the trade package looks if it gets finalized before I can share my thoughts on whether it represents a good or bad deal. From a talent viewpoint, the choice seems quite clear. Nonetheless, it is the other elements at play that prompt me to think about how this will truly play out in the end. There are some concluding reflections to consider, but what draft selection would you be inclined to part with in a trade for a particular player? I encourage you to share your opinions in the comments of today's chat. It is worth noting that updates will follow, which will take place at a later date. I am receptive to this scenario. I also appreciate being able to mention that there is some activity happening. On one hand, it is tough to fault a team for being inactive when they are executing a major move. This feels like a significant trade that has been actively sought. Reports suggested that there were talks with a team from a certain division, although those discussions did not advance. I would like to examine the trade package closely. I would rather not relinquish a valuable asset if it can be avoided. Still, I question whether that is feasible, because if you are in a certain position, does it not make sense to acquire additional resources to solidify a crucial role for the upcoming year? There are chances this year. Various factors need to be addressed, which will greatly impact the composition of the trade package. However, concerning the players currently available for a particular role, it is hard to argue that anyone can outshine the individual in question. He is effective as a receiver, and some teams are in need of such a playmaker. I think he fits well with other important players, as nearly everyone does given their skills. Still, I ponder whether this arrangement is genuinely suitable. Is there too much surrounding drama? That is the only aspect that causes me some unease, and it is indeed why he is available in the first place. Hence, I'm quite eager to see how everything develops. Further details are expected to come out shortly. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL and left fans stunned across the country, Patrick Mahomes has officially announced his departure from the Kansas City Chiefs. The star quarterback, widely regarded as the face of the franchise and one of the most talented players in the history of the league, has accepted a blockbuster offer from the Dallas Cowboys. The announcement marks the end of an era in Kansas City, where Mahomes led the Chiefs to multiple Super Bowl appearances and 2 championship titles, earning a reputation as a generational talent with an unmatched ability to dominate under pressure. The news broke earlier this morning when Mahomes released a statement confirming the decision, expressing gratitude to the Chiefs organization, his teammates, and the fans who supported him throughout his career in Kansas City. "Kansas City will always hold a special place in my heart," Mahomes said. "But I feel it's time for a new challenge, and I believe Dallas offers the right environment and opportunity to continue growing as a player and chasing more championships." According to sources close to the negotiations, the Cowboys presented Mahomes with a record-breaking deal, both in terms of salary and contractual guarantees, solidifying their ambition to return to the top of the league. The move also reunites Mahomes with several familiar faces on the Cowboys coaching staff and signals Dallas' determination to build a championship-caliber team around their new quarterback. The Cowboys, a historic franchise with a storied past but limited recent playoff success, are betting big on Mahomes to change that narrative. The departure leaves a massive void in Kansas City, where Mahomes has been the undisputed leader and the driving force behind the team's recent dominance. Questions now loom about the Chiefs' next steps and how the organization plans to replace a player of his caliber. For the Cowboys, however, this move could mark the dawn of a new golden era. With Mahomes under center, the possibilities seem endless. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.